Palmetto and Pine Golf Company. It's based entirely around highlighting golf here in the Carolinas. In the last year, I've been to over 50 different golf courses to not just only highlight the golf courses, but learn about the people that truly make the Carolinas special. Welcome to Pine Talk. Welcome back to Pine Talk. My name is Ryan. I am the owner and founder of Palmetto and Pine Golf Company. I'm here with Zack Byers. He's a professional golfer out of Shelby, North Carolina. And we are here at Cleveland Country Club. I almost blanked for a second. Cleveland Country Club, Shelby, North Carolina. Zack, first, talk to me about, how did you get into golf? And then kind of talk to me about how and what your relationship is to Cleveland Country Club.
Sure. So golf for me started when I was a kid. Grew up playing baseball, but golf started out here really. So we had camps. It was kind of golf, tennis, and swimming. So we would do that from the time, probably 5, 6, 7 years old. Come out here during the summer for a week and do golf for 2 hours, tennis for 2 hours, and then pool for an hour, and that was your daycare during the day, that sort of thing. So that was sort of my intro to golf. So yeah, but it was good. The country club's great. Just being here, it's having the community around me, the membership and everything. It's really been home to me in a way.
Gotcha. And so talk to me. So you went and played in college at Gardner Webb and then South Carolina for a little bit. Talk to me about your college experience.
Yeah, so my time at Gardner Webb was my 4 years of undergraduate life, and that was 2018 through 22. And those 4 years were some of the best 4 years of my life, that's for sure. Kind of started out slow, took the maturing process, took to that, had to really grow and that sort of thing. But it finally hit me my senior year and turned that into some success. And then was looking to either turn pro or go transfer for my COVID year, because COVID came my sophomore year, and had the ability to transfer and go to the SEC for South Carolina, and played down there for one semester. Ended up getting hurt and having to have surgery, but it was a great time there.
Gotcha. And first, talk to me, how did you pick Gardner Webb? How did that end up happening?
So being from Shelby, Gardner Webb's 15 minutes down the road, kind of toward Gaffney, South Carolina, but it's in Bowling Springs, and it's just our local school, essentially. So kind of growing up, went to baseball camps, went to all sort of things, had a lot of friends there, and known the coach for a long, long time, and it just sort of, it was home. It worked out. Knew I wanted to go there from the time I was probably a sophomore, junior in high school. Was ready to be a Bulldog.
And so I believe you said it was your senior year. Is that when, or I guess junior year?
Senior year, yeah.
You made the national tournament for Division I golf. Kind of talk to me, one, about making the national tournament and then the experience of actually playing in it.
Sure, yeah. So my senior spring was sort of a whirlwind. It happened really fast, and it was all good. I mean, the first tournament, went out and finished 15th, was fine, something like that, and then solo third at Palmetto Country Club, and then finished first, which was my first college win at East Carolina, first at True Blue, which was back-to-back weeks, and then 15th at Wofford's home tournament in Spartanburg, and then first at the conference championship. So I won 3 out of 4 starts, which was it was really cool. It was humbling, but it was rewarding. It was kind of the combination of everything coming together to show what my capabilities were, and kind of just prove to myself that I've got what it takes to play. So that winning conference got me the ticket to the regionals, and played my regional in West Palm Beach at PGA National, where the Honda Classics played. And I was the final group coming down the third round of 3 rounds, and was the final group coming down the stretch, and looked at my coach, and we knew we were in a good spot. And I just said, it's tough because we've got the bear trap coming up. So obviously famous 15, 16, 17 at PGA National are the two par 3s and a par 4 that are just brutally hard. And I was like, it's time to get tough and get things finished. And I made 4 pars in a row to finish out that round, and I earned my ticket to the national championship. And then that was at Greyhawk in Arizona, and just being out there really felt like the closest thing that I could imagine to being in a tour event. Roped off fairways every hole, You got to wear a player badge, that sort of thing, where you can get into the locker room and all that fun stuff. So it was a treat. It really was. And coming from such a small school at Gardner Webb, being the first person for our school to do it, and maybe one of the lower ranked teams to ever have a player make a national championship. I mean, we were 205th in the country at the time. Like, we were not good as a team. We had a good group of guys, but ranking wise, we were not great. And it was a lot of fun, a lot of hard work, and just a great overall experience.
And when you show up to that tournament, like, do you have a lot of people are asking you about that? Kind of how did that go?
I got interviewed by Ben Adelberg with Back of the Range, and that sort of thing. He's just asking me, like, man, what's it like to come from such a small school and just being an individual at regionals and knowing that there's only one spot, and then playing well there under that much pressure to make it here. It's like, I got publicity from it at the time, and it was great. And it's like I said, it's humbling because it's just to know that I succeeded through a very difficult stretch of golf under pressure. It showed me so much about what I'm able to do.
And during that time period when you're winning these tournaments and you play in the national championship, like, what was there something different in your golf game that kind of just clicked, or what was going on?
I think the only thing I'll resort to on that is somebody asked me a question one time. They said, what comes first, confidence or success? And, confidence, in my opinion, comes first. But in that case, it really seemed like the third place finish was what sparked the confidence. It was a success of finishing solo third, which at the time was my best collegiate finish. And then that speared into winning and, playing well the rest of that season. And, so, I would say success came first in that instance, but the confidence is what's supposed to be built up from all the hard work and the practice that we put in. And it all sort of just meshed together at the same time, which was great. So nothing ability-wise really changed. It was just I brought out my potential.
And so did you, after the solo third finish, you're showing up like, I can win these tournaments?
Right, yeah, because that was a great field. I mean, we were at Palmetto Country Club, or Golf Club in Aiken, South Carolina, which is historic as it gets. It's like the third oldest course in the United States, and had South Carolina, had VCU, Furman, a handful of really good teams. I think Clemson was there, and for us at Gardner Webb, we don't see these teams hardly ever, so it was fun to go finish solo third behind my succeeding team, my team I was going to next year. So I finished third behind Ryan Hall and Jack Wall, who were both on South Carolina's team at the time. So it was neat to kind of put myself in that lineup already in my head. I was like, okay, now I know that I just finished at the top with these guys, and it felt to me like I was able to compete at that against good guys, that sort of thing.
And did that give you that extra spark of motivation to be like, I'm kind of the underdog?
Definitely, and going into regionals is the highlight of that, in my opinion, because I'm coming from Gardner Webb. I'm playing against Vanderbilt, Florida State, Purdue, these teams that were all Power 5 big schools that had Gordon Sargent and, all these great players that have played in major championships now. It's you are the underdog. I mean, you're not supposed to make it out of that, and then the fact that I did was just really cool.
All right, Zach, talk to me about going professional. What has that looked like for you?
Sure. So I turned professional in August of 2023, and it's as simple as declaring that you want to play for money, right? So you go to a mini tour event, you go to a Monday qualifier, anything, you select amateur or pro, and it sort of starts like that. It's as simple as sort of declaring what your status will be. And kind of at that point, you got to start thinking, okay, now I'm selecting my tournaments, I'm booking my travel, I'm handling all the business stuff outside of just playing golf. So with that, you got to have money on the front end, right? So for me, and it started in June of 23, and here at the country club, I did a fundraiser where kind of did a cocktail hour and did a presentation for all of my member friends here, and was able to raise enough money to get things started, which was great. And it's something that's necessary. I mean, unless you come from a lot of money, it's a very expensive endeavor to really get into. I mean, you're looking at $40,000 to $60,000 a year spent at the early level, and I just talked to Ryan Gerard this past week at Quail Hollow, and he is going to be a rookie on the PGA Tour this coming year, and he said that if you're not spending $250,000 a year, which sounds crazy, it is, but at that level, you're flying so often, whether it's private or regular plane or whatever, you're traveling so much, staying in hotels or houses for a whole week at a time. You're going 30 plus weeks of the year. When you're a rookie, you're trying to play every tournament you get in. So, it all starts with money, having enough money to get things going, and then, knowing that you've got the chance to make it. Game-wise, I feel like I'm able to do the things to be successful and compete on the PGA Tour. It's just a matter of doing it at the right time, getting a little bit of a good break when it matters, and that sort of thing.
And to this point, what's the kind of highest level that you've reached? Yeah,
I mean, the closest I got was a PGA Tour event in Louisville, Kentucky. The ISCO Championship. Played the pre-qualifier, shot 9 under, tied for first in that, and then that advanced me to the Monday. And in the Monday, I shot 8 under, which was a tie for fourth. And in Monday qualifiers, 4 people get out. So it's not anybody tied for fourth. You've got to finish top 4 exactly. So they do a 3-for-1 playoff. And I missed in a playoff. I made 2 pars, and one of the guys birdied the second playoff hole. So being 17 under par for 2 rounds of golf and missing in a playoff, not making a bogey for 38 holes, it's a grind, man. It's tough. So that was definitely the closest I've been to a PGA Tour event or that sort of thing. But last fall, I advanced to second stage of Q School for a Korn Ferry Tour in Dothan, Alabama, and didn't make it out of that. But just first time kind of going through Q School, you go through the emotions, ups and downs, and the grind of it. It's also stressful, but making it through pre-qualifying, then first stage, and then playing at second stage, you're there with past PGA Tour members, current Korn Ferry members trying to better their status, and it's so competitive that it is incredible to just be a part of.
Yeah, and that's what we talked a little bit before, as we played 18 holes before we're sitting down for this, and we're talking about just like the razor thin margin of just how good everybody is, and just like it takes that one extra birdie, just that one extra piece that is all the difference.
Exactly. It's such a fine line at this level, regardless of conditions, regardless of how hard a course is set up. Somebody will always find a way to play well in a pro event, whether it's a G Pro mini tour event that I play or anything. I mean, it's the G Pro thing's been great for me because it really just teaches you to go low and not be scared of shooting 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 under par, whatever it is. You got to just have that go mode where, all right, I'm going to try to make 9 or 10 birdies today and figure it out from there. So, I mean, G Pro is great. And then going to a Monday, you have to have the same attitude. It's going out there. You got an 18-hole shootout to try and make a PGA Tour event. So it's, you can't be scared of going low. And, one thing I do to prepare for that just here at home is play the red tees, go shoot, try and break 60 from the red tees on my own ball or anything like that, and not be afraid of it. So that's a cool thing I try to do anyway.
And what's the farthest that you've kind of have gone to compete in anything at this point?
So I've traveled all over the United States. This year alone has been kind of a whirlwind and just wild. Started in January out in San Diego for the Farmers at Torrey Pines. Tried to do Monday qualifying for that. Missed by a couple shots. Then went from there to Phoenix for the Waste Management. So I've been to California, San Diego, California, Scottsdale, Phoenix area. Been to Houston. I've been to Albuquerque, New Mexico for first stage this past couple weeks. And then I've been to Vienna, Austria, and that was for a European Tour Q School. So that was unique. First time going out of the country and going to Europe, and got dealt some tough weather and that sort of thing, but it was a great experience, something I'll never forget, that's for sure.
And how much different was that compared to like playing in the U.S.?
Well, just not going anywhere and being able to speak English with a lot of people is the tough part. Everybody speaks German there, and luckily my dad went, so I had somebody there I could kind of talk to and that sort of thing. But just getting around, it's luckily everybody drives on the same side of the road as us there, so that wasn't so bad. But it was unique. No air conditioning in the apartment, so it was like the first day was insane. It was probably 85 in the apartment, so it was crazy, but that was fun. It was a trip that I will not forget.
And so I'm curious, when it comes to doing this, and like you've been so close to making a PGA Tour event, what What do you do to kind of, not let that weigh on you and like kind of keep your confidence up and be like, look, I can do this. Like this, I got this.
Yeah, I mean, the real thing is golf is one of these games that you are going to fail in more than you succeed, and then it's not even close. So you have to know that it's just a game of math and a game of odds. It's something is going to work in your favor. You're going to get that break at some point. An extra putt's going to go in, or you might hit a ball that's going in the trees, it hits a tree, kicks out in the fairway, and you get a break. You turn that into a birdie, and then you make a tournament. It's just like the way you got to stay positive and going about this if you're doing it is just know that it's not all going to be bad. Things are going to work out how they're supposed to, when they're supposed to. You just have to let them happen. You can't force stuff to happen. It's just, that's what we do as pros is we try to be perfect, and you can't be perfect. I mean, I listen to an audiobook all the time. It's Bob Rotella. It's Golf is Not a Game of Perfect. That's his one of his famous books, and it's just the ultimate truth. It's, you get out there and you fail a lot. Like how many times in a round of golf you watch me play today? I mean, how many times did I hit a perfect shot? I would say 3 or 4, and you shoot a few under par or whatever it is, and it's just how good can you make your misses? How consistent can you be on your okay shots? Hit it to 20 feet, 30 feet on an okay shot instead of a bunker, and not get up and down and make a bogey, that sort of thing. So whatever it is, this whole thing it's stressful, but it's great. It's so perspective based. You have the opportunity to chase your dream and play golf and hopefully make a living doing it, and see all these cool places. So it's just like one of my mentors here, he says, just look up and look how blue the sky is. Feel this sun hitting down on you. Just think about the beauties of life and just put it all into perspective. Just think about how blessed we are to do what we're doing. So whether this works out or not, I'm glad that I'm trying it, and I'm glad that I'm doing it. So.
And you just mentioned mentor.
Yeah.
Are there any other people, whether it's on or off the course, and are there people that you look up to and go to for that?
Certainly. Like my Gardner Webb coach, Coach T. Burton, he's a guy I talk to weekly. I mean, he's, I'm out of school. I'm done with all that sort of thing, but he is a guy that knows my game, knows my brain. He's seen me for 4 years grow and change, and he's a guy that I rely on heavily about anything. This sort of stuff. He's done it. He's played professionally. He's kind of been through the ropes of trying to compete and make it on tour, and he's just an easy ear, for listening to things, and then gives you ideas on how to kind of change what you're doing, or just better what you're doing, that sort of thing. So, but yeah, him and then a couple guys here at the country club really have been monumental to success of my career, and just being who I am as a person, for sure.
We were talking before that you had went back and did some coaching at Gardner Webb. Talk to me about what was that experience like?
Yeah, so I had like I said, I got hurt at South Carolina and had to have a shoulder operation. And during that time, when I stepped away from South Carolina, I decided to come home because I couldn't play any golf. I was in a sling for 2 months and then couldn't touch a club for another 2 months. So I was like, well, I got to find something else to do. So went back to Gardner Webb and was the assistant coach with Coach T. Burton, helped him out, and just seeing things from that other perspective. I was kind of telling you at lunch that I enjoy caddying a lot. I do that on the side at Quail Hollow. That's for weekend warriors and regular kind of golfers. But it's great for me to see kind of both perspectives, because with coaching, these are good players. These are college athletes that are trying to get better and play good golf. Scratch golfers are better, that sort of thing. And what for me it does is I see it from the outside looking in, and I tell them, I'm like, okay, just hit the fairway, hit the green, 2-putt, make par, move on. Whatever you have to do to make that happen. And then I look back at myself like, why don't I do that? And sometimes, and how can I apply that? So whether it's me hitting a 5-wood instead of a driver, or whatever it is, just think about how simple I can make certain situations and utilize that. So to me, it's a eye-opener in a great way.
And so when you're playing, like if you're on a tee box or whatever, like are you like, all right, what would caddy Zack do in this situation?
What would Coach Byers do in this situation? That's really it sort of is just a part of the process, right? It's like how can I do this in a way that I know I can execute, like whether my game plan might be different than what I'm telling them to do. It could vary in some ways, but how can I eliminate the chance of a mistake or of a bogey or a double bogey? Like, what can I do to just be smart in a situation? Can I pull off this hero shot or not? And how likely is that to happen? Is this a 1 in 20 or is this like a 1 in 5 where you're like, okay, 20% might be worth it, but 5%'s not. So anyway, it just slows me down a little bit and sort of puts me in a spot where I think and then try to execute what I'm talking about.
Talking about caddying, do you have a caddy that is with you all the time for your events and stuff that you compete in, or what does that look like?
Right. I shuffle between my oldest brother, Brock, and my dad. Both of them really enjoy it, and then I've had a couple other friends kind of caddy through certain times and that sort of thing, but having the comfort of my brother or my dad is a really nice thing. It's relaxing. It's just wholesome where they get to go with me to these cool places and enjoy it. Like I said, my dad, 60 years old, has never left the country, and that was his first time going to Europe. So just to enjoy the memories of that, alone, whether the golf was good or not, my dad was there, and it was really special.
When you were over there, did you do any extra like exploring? And
yes, we had bad weather, and our rounds got canceled for round 3 and 4, so that was a bummer. But we took to the city of Vienna and went to the Schönbrunn Palace or whatever. It's something like that, and it's from the 1700s. Really incredible place. It's a house about 3 times the size of the Biltmore House, which is ridiculous, but it's a really neat place, and got to explore a little bit. So that was something we did.
So we're sitting here, Cleveland Country Club, Shelby, North Carolina. Talk to me about this course. Kind of, what do people that don't know about this course, what should they know?
Sure. Yeah, Cleveland Country Club is from 1927, coming up on our centennial. It's a right now sort of operating as a semi-private club, historically full private, but open on Golf Now right now. So you can come book a tee time through Golf Now, anywhere from I think $35 in the week to $60 on the weekends, depending. Like you said, it's kind of a great value course. You got to see it this morning, and it's truly a place that we take a lot of pride in here in Shelby. It's in great shape as far as greens, fairways, bunkers. I mean, it's a great place. I've been here for all of my life, like I said, and it's a place that's home to me and that sort of thing.
This is also one of the few times that I'm like interviewing somebody and like after playing. Typically, like I'll sit down and like interview people and then go out and play it. So it is nice this time that I can like, talk about the course from my own personal experience. And I do think it is a great value course, and I love that that the public has a chance and an opportunity to come play this. And I think it's worth come playing if you're in the Charlotte area or anywhere around Shelby. Like it's worth the visit. And you're saying, 100-year-old course, like you can tell it's got some great bones. It has some great golf holes. It is a really neat course for sure. So talk to me, what are your favorite golf holes out here?
I think some of my favorite holes probably include the par 3, number 3. It's just pretty over a pond, not too long of a hole, about 150 yards. Just a nice view over the water. You kind of overlook some other good holes. Number 7 is a great kind of risk-reward drivable par 4, right at 300 yards. Kind of an uphill green, shaved off fairway around the sides, and it's kind of got mounds to where if you miss the green, it'll want to funnel down. And then really, like, we've got a good stretch on the back. 12 is a great par 5. It's ranked our number 1 handicap hole, and he saw both sides of it today. It's like, you can hit a fairway wood or a driver kind of down the fairway, and then it makes a little turn, and then it's risk reward where you've got anywhere from 240 to 170 depending on how you hit your tee shot, and you're hitting over a creek to an elevated green off of a downslope. So it's a challenging shot, challenging hole, but it's a great chance to make a birdie or an eagle, or have to grind out a bogey. So it's a really neat hole. 13's a great hole. 14's good. I think there's a really good mix of holes. It's a challenge. It's 6,400 yards, and like I was telling you, you go to a 6,400 yard golf course and you think the course record's probably 59 or 60 or something like that. Ours is 62. I mean, we've had a lot of good players come here. Current holder is Alex Goff, who played at University of Kentucky, great player, probably one of the best to come out of that program beside J.B. Holmes. So he shot 62, and then actually Gardner Webb's previous football coach, Trey Lamb, is an unbelievable golfer from Georgia, just a fantastic player. He also shot 62 this past year, so this is a very new record. Was 63 for 40 years before that, so I think 7 people had tied 63, and it had been that for a long time. But it's a very tricky, finicky golf course. A lot of undulation in the greens. Greens are really, really pure. They roll anywhere from 9 to 11, depending on kind of what time of the year it is. But 9 out here, you can attest to it, is not 9 at a traditional course. 9 here with all the slope really is a lot more than that. So it's a great place.
Yeah, and I will say from experience from playing it today, it is enjoyable, or in my opinion, it makes it a golf course more fun when greens do have those undulations. They're not just flat golf courses.
I got taken out.
Yeah, it's a good golf course, and I love the undulations. It makes it just interesting. It's fun to look at. But first, talk to me. What's your personal record out here?
So my personal low is 63, and I've shot it 4 times. So it's too annoying to be that close to it and not have got it. So I've had great 9s. I've shot 28 on the back and 29 a bunch of times on the front. So it's just putting 2 sides together and trying to get things going. So it's great. It really is. It's a challenge. It's a great place to really kind of cut your teeth and try and work on things.
And do you ever have days where you're like, what, today I'm feeling it, like I'm going to break a course record?
People always want to say like, oh, it starts with making that birdie on 1, just getting that day off to a good start and kind of going. But some days it kind of catches you close. Like one of the times I shot 63, I think I was even through 4. And then 5 is the easy par 5, and you make eagle there or whatever if you hit a couple good shots, and then 6, 7 are both easy holes. So I think one of the times I shot 63, I was even through 4, eagle, birdie, par on 8, birdie on 9. So I turned it 5 under, and then shot 4 more on the back. And so you don't have to start. I was kind of telling you during the round today, like. You don't have to birdie the first 3 or 4 holes to get off to a hot start. It's just a matter of like knowing as a good golfer that birdies can happen at any point during the round. And once 1 hole's done, it doesn't matter. It's done. So, you can start just birdieing every hole if you do things right and going through it. So it's, this course is one of those ones where you can make a lot of birdies, but you can make quick bogeys really easily. So that's for sure.
Yes. Yeah, you can get yourself in a spot, turn potentially a easy par or whatever into a very quick bogey or double.
Right.
Talk how much for the tee times that are open to the public. What's kind of the cost looking like?
Yeah, like during the week, $35, around that, $35, $40, and then on the weekends, kind of in the 45 to 60 range, depending on what time you're looking. But yeah, great value place. Got to book it on Golf Now. I think is the only way you can do it. Can't just call the shop. You got to book through Golf Now and kind of go through that.
Cool. And I apparently Shelby, because you have the Riverbend YMCA course also in Shelby. So between Shelby or Riverbend YMCA and Cleveland Country Club, Shelby's got some underrated good value golf courses.
Yeah. And Riverbend, I saw on your page that you reviewed Riverbend, and I was like, man, we got to get him out to the Country Club. Riverbend was my home course with Gardner Webb, so I know it all as well as this place almost. But yeah, we are blessed in this small town, Cleveland County overall. We've got 4 really nice golf courses, or solid golf courses. I mean, Kings Mountain Golf Club, Country Club, whichever it is, has grown tremendously. Their membership has expanded. You can book publicly there too. It's kind of a hole in the wall place, but it's great. Like it really is. It's a hidden gem in a way. It's got a lot of kind of funky holes, but they're unique. You don't go play a course that's like Kings Mountain, in my opinion. And then we've got Deerbrook Golf Club as well. So we got 4 courses in our county, and Cleveland has always historically been the only private, full private club. Right now, just going through some transitional stuff and figuring things out. But we are doing well. We're trending the right way and getting a lot more play, and that's sort of what's making this place even better.
Love to hear it. I think that's it. That's all I've got. So I guess to help wrap it up, if you do you want to shout out any of your sponsors?
Sure.
Or the people you represent?
Yeah. No, a couple of my sponsors for Pro Golf are Regard Recovery. We are that's a member friend of mine here. He runs drug and alcohol rehab facilities, which is a great cause. A lot of people struggle with issues with addiction, drug, alcohol, gambling, anything, anything that you feel the need to do when you don't need to. So that's, they do a great job. They've got locations all over the East Coast, kind of Tennessee, Ohio, I think Pittsburgh, all over, or Pennsylvania, not Pittsburgh, but all over the East Coast. They're great. And then Cryo Recovery and Wellness, all about improving life quality, that sort of thing. Do a lot of ice bath, cold plunges, hot saunas. They're working with a new device right now. It's called Flow Prezzo or something like that. It's a full body heat and pressurized suit that you sort of put on, and you go through about a 30-minute recovery process with it and do it once a week, and it is phenomenal. So they're great. And then Shelby Spice, new hot sauce company for our area. I think it's the only one that has an in-store site within 100 miles is what I think my guy was telling me. So shout out to Duncan. He's great. And then I'm trying to think. TaylorMade, thank you for everything you're doing for me. It's been phenomenal supplying me with equipment. FootJoy shoes, Swanee's apparel, and I think that's about it for sponsors.
Cool. Love to hear it.
I sound like a motocrosser or a NASCAR rider, so that's okay.
Yeah. As Zack Byers, he's a professional golfer out of Shelby, North Carolina. Again, my name is Ryan, Palmetto and Pine Golf Company. By the time you're seeing this, our new website is live, palmettoandpinegolf.com. You can pick yourself up nice fancy shirts, some hats, all this stuff. Go check it out.
Head covers look great. Go get one.
Yep. Listen to Zach.
That's right.
All right, Zach.
Thanks for coming out.
Yeah, of course.
Perfect.